Hello there. Let us look at the C control structure lecture 2. We looked at lecture 1 and understood the difference between data flow, control flow, etc. We'll see what does it actually mean. Now we will concentrate on control flow machines because all our programs will be control flow. Suppose if I have a statement, say this is my statement 1, okay, then this will be my statement 2, this will be my statement 3, statement 4, statement 5. So I have 5 statements. Now in a control flow scenario, what happens? The execution of this program starts in the early lectures we have seen by calling main, and main has these 5 statements. So 5 statements get executed one after the other, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't mean that it starts with statement 5 is executed once or statement 3 is executed next. No, there is a defined order wherein we have statement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being executed in a particular sequence. So let us save this program. Call this as a.c. Then, okay, so we have 5 statements executed. For example, if I now want the statement 1 to be executed based on some condition, I want to hold it under some condition, and I want to execute 2, 3, 4, 5 without any problem. For that, I have a control structure called if. So if actually works this way: if it looks for a condition. So what is the condition? The condition should be either a logical expression or a relational expression, or it can also be, as we know, the outcome of a relational or logical expression results in 0 for false and results in a non-integer, non-zero integer for true. I think it should not matter. Suppose if I say if 0, right, if it is false, skip statement 1 or execute statement 1 or 2. So there's always this confusion. Are we saying if it is 0, execute this, or if this is true, execute this? So let us see. All right. So technically 2, 3, 4, 5. So what did it do? Is if this condition was true, you wanted this statement to be printed. If this condition was false, you wanted this statement to be skipped. Now I have given a 0, so this condition is false, so this has to be skipped. Now if I give a not of 0, wherein a not of 0 is always 1, so if I say if 1, if this is true, I have said execute this, anyhow these will be executed in common. Okay, so for that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose if I want all the statements to be executed if it is true, all 5 statements to be executed if it is true, and then after that I would like one statement to be executed if it is false. Not false, I mean once the true condition is executed. Now in this case, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because my condition is true, now I will make it false. When the condition is false, this entire thing gets executed if this condition is true. This entire thing gets executed, I mean doesn't get executed if it is false. So in this case it is false. So only statement 6 is executed. If it is true, all statement 5 and the following statement. So this is what we mean by this is of course a block. Right? Now if you forget to remove, if you forget to include a block, this statement will be associated only with this statement. Remaining statements are not a part of these statements. Now, if this converse is true, wherein if it is false, the converse of false is true, then in that case, I will give else. So, if this is 3, I will give say else, and this is also a block for me. Now, in this case, what happens is because it is false, if it is true, these conditions, if it is false, then else condition. Now, in this case, since it is 0, it is false, so it has to be these two statements followed by this statement. So that is what is the meaning there. Okay, simple. I can also have a nested if. I can also have else if. So you have several conditions for that. This is what I mean by control flow. See, by default, control is what a statement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I am able to alter the control. If some condition is for true, execute this. If that is false, only execute this. Anyway, execute this. So I'm actually skipping this based on some condition not being satisfied. Then it is again sequential here. Okay, this is what I mean by control flow, and if structure is one of the things. So we will use if structures as and when we move forward. So you have if condition. Okay, that's one aspect of it. Then you may also have an if condition. Okay, else. You should not say else condition. Now, if I put a else, if I want to put else condition, then I have to always associate a condition with an if statement. Else is only if the converse is true when we give a condition. Alright, so this is very, very important. I can also give if, else, if. So for every if, correct, there can be an else or there need not be an else. But for every else, there has to be a matching if. This is very, very important. What does that mean? Now suppose if we have else here. Okay, I don't have an else here. I will just give if. I'll again say 0. Now in this case both are false. Only statement 6 gets executed. Okay. Now if I give an else here, if that this condition is false, so it will execute 4, 5, 6, which we have seen in the previous execution. Okay. Now suppose if I want to put one more condition within else, I could as well say else if, I will again say if 0, right? Then have this statement else 5, 6. Okay. So is there a, for every match if there need not be an else, but for every else there has to be also if it's 5, 6, isn't it? Why? Because this condition is false. It skips this and then it does this. So I have an if, I have an else, I have an if. This if belongs to this else, right? Now suppose if I just want to have an else without an if, then I have a problem. So if I remove this if here, for example, and just say start else, okay, and try and compile this, it says else without a previous if. So an if condition is you need a if for every else, but vice versa is not. Hope you understood the C control structure, which is an if control structure, remaining in the subsequent lecture. Thank you very much.